So if you recall the last video, we'd set up this space, created multiple rooms, and showed how to set different types of source locations as well as a target location. So what I want to do in this video is to show some of the configurations that we can create to simulate various situations within this particular space. And right now we have just basically a simple source and target set up, and I want to essentially throw some variation in there so that we can see how various things will work. So I am going to create a new scenario based on the scenario that I created previously, and so just kind of show you how that works. I can clone a scenario, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to clone this. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to call it multiple rooms. Variable source. And so that's, this is the scenario that we're going to work with. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to do is change this this particular source so that when people are generated, that they're not all just hiding in the corner over here, but rather I'm going to randomize where they're placed within that space. And actually we can see the benefits of that one right away. I'm just going to go ahead and run that. And then let's look at that that output. And so you see here that the people are spread out across the room. They're not all just in the same place. And so, and I think that that's clearly a benefit here, because when we do our modeling of our spaces, we're not going to have everyone just kind of sitting at the same spot. So I think that that's an important piece. The other configuration thing that I want to do here, so I'd spawned 5 and they were just all spawned at the same time, but I'm going to change an end time here, make that later. I want to see what that does to this space and see how they're spawned I think they're spawned every second. And as that happens, you can see how that randomness comes in to play with how they are distributed across the room. So let's look at that and look at the visualization of this. I'm going to zoom into this particular room, and let's go ahead and just run this. So you'll see how that happened. And let me go scroll back here to previous point in this. So as we kind of go through each one of these time steps, and you can see here, we do have a way of being able to just kind of scroll through the time steps, simulated time steps. So this is second one. And actually, here's the time, and these are the steps. And so I'm just kind of clicking through that, and we see how they're just kind of randomly generated at various times in that sequence. Which, all right, so anyway, so that's one thing that can happen. You'll still notice here that they're all, well, I only have the one target spot, and so let me change that. And this actually brings up an issue with the software that I have not yet been able to figure out. So if I create another target and I configure this one as, I'll call it 5, and what I've been wanting to do is say, well, there's target IDs, and I presumably can set multiple of these target IDs in this for this source. And my expectation of the software is that, as I run this, that they should kind of choose between one of the two. But I haven't really seen this behavior. Like, I don't know that it actually works that way. Yeah, because you kind of see they just all go for whatever is first in the list. And I think that that's, well, clearly that's an issue. If we have multiple target spots, right, you would, you'd like to see sort of a distribution across those. And so the way to address this, the way to kind of work around that, is the following. So first of all, I'm going to reconfigure this one back to whatever the original was. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another source. I'm just going to drop it right on top of this other one, the original one. And so it's going to occupy the same space, essentially. And I don't know if you can see that I've added that. And then I'm going to configure it so that, actually I need to move this one over just slightly so I can actually click on the new one. I'm going to configure this, say this is space 6, and it's going to send people to 5. I'm going to basically have the same parameters here, but it's going, actually, let me lessen the number. So let me call that 3, and then on the other one, I'll do that as 2. We'll still have basically the same number of people being generated, spawned out of this room, but then, a certain number are going to go out this door, the others are going to go out the other door. So let me go ahead and run that, and let's see that working. There we go. And now in the visualization, you can see this happening. Oh, I forgot to randomize the exits of those. So they're all just kind of hanging out in the corner. Those of you that saw the old movie reference to, well, it was like Blair Witch Project or something like that. They're all just kind of hiding in the corner. Let me go ahead and let me go back and fix this. I need to make sure that they're randomized. Click on the right one. Yeah, so rand, this needs to be true. Okay. All right, so let me run that again. Yep, that looks better. Definitely looks better. Okay. And now we still have the same number of people being generated out of this room, but they're distributed in the room, and then they're split between how many are going to one exit, how many are going to another exit. And actually, we can use this fact that we can do something like this, for any situation where we want to study, how people are moving and through buildings, if they have multiple means of ingress and egress, how we make that happen. The other thing we can do, actually, let me do that here. So let's say that at the same time, I want to have people trying to come into these rooms, and I'm not going to even set any policy. I'm going to put, I've got these 2 entryways here. And now I can configure this just like I did before, but now I'm going to have these people go into these various rooms, and just kind of have them hang out in a particular part of the room. Okay, so now, I'm going to have, we're going to see collisions, right, of people coming in here. So I need to configure these. Let's see, this is, I think I'll call this one 7. 7, and I'll call this one 8. And on these sources, right, okay, I need to make this just slightly so I can tap on that source. I'm going to send this one to, I'm going to send these guys to 8. And I don't think it matters if they're random because they're coming out of a spot. I'm going to spawn 5 of these, and I'm going to have them come in at around second 4 and just be generated the one time. And then let me do the same thing over here. See, this is 8. So I'm going to have these guys go to 7. And let's see, it doesn't matter if they're random. I'm going to have these ones come in at second 6. They're done at 8. Oh, no, I'm just going to have them generated all at once. Okay, so let's see what happens here. It's a great thing about running these simulations. It's all about, let's see what happens. And so let me go ahead and run that. Okay. And then let's watch it in the animation. Okay, so we get a little bit of collisions happening here. These guys are going to start coming in here in a second, right? We'll see. Oh, did I miss them? Maybe they came in already. Missed them. Hold on. Let me see. Wasn't paying attention. There they go. Oh, it's just the one. Because I didn't configure it right. But you see there. See where his trail is. I'm going to go back and fix that. So let me go to that. I need to have more than one come in. I'm going to have a big army of guys come in. 20. Oops. Yeah. All right. Let me run that. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's a big crowd that came in. Okay. All right. And let's watch it. All right, so they're coming through those spaces. Oh, big collisions there. You see a lot of people kind of getting through the space. And clearly, you know, that would be problematic for us if we were saying, okay, let's just have people kind of come and go as they want. Anyway, I hope that you get a good sense of the kinds of things that we can do here. I mean, just kind of varying where people are coming in from, where they're going out. We can vary things like how many people are coming in, how many people are going out, and setting the times that they're arriving. Oh, actually, there's one other thing I wanted to show you with this. We don't have to even just have just these spawn points. We can actually just create a whole bunch of people and just create pedestrians. I'm going to just drop them into these rooms. Maybe there are people just kind of hanging out in the hallways. When you do that, of course, you have to go through and you have to configure these. If you look at the setup on the for each of these, there's a target that you can set for. There it is up at the top. You can set a target for where these different simulants are supposed to go, or you can just have them hang out in the hallway. But I don't know. I think I will bet that if I hit go right now, that I'll get an error because they probably need a target. And so I'm just going to go ahead and set targets for these. 8. I'm going to put this one. I'm going to send this one to 4 going out. This one's going to go into go up 5. These guys are actually waiting to go into the rooms, and I say they're going into room 7. This one's going into room 7. Oh, 8. I don't want to retap it. And this one I'll go into room 7. All right, so let me see what happens. See if I got it right. Yep, and it looks like I didn't let the simulation run long enough because that kind of ran out there. Let me go 100. Go again. People enough time. Oh, something's broken here. Those guys don't want to go anywhere. All right. Anyway, you get the idea. The whole point, of course, with all of this for us is to try to find those places where we need to have models where we'll need to develop something in it. And actually, I have another tool that I want to show you that I will create another video for that will allow us to identify, well, where are the trouble spots in our buildings? Where are those places where we have historically have had a lot of room usage? Where are those congestions going to happen? And so we will see a lot of that in the next video that I create. I'll show you some of those tools. Anyway, so here what we've done, again, in a previous video, I showed you how to design a room. In this video, I showed you how to set multiple targets, multiple sources, how to configure the sources so that you get sort of a random placement of people within rooms. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I guess we will talk again soon.